Welcome back to another edition of Components Breakdown. Today we're going to be taking a look at the game Kingsburg and its expansion to Forge a Realm. Kingsburg is a 2 to 5 player medieval/fantasy themed strategy game. It relies on two main mechanics, dice rolling and worker placement, both of which are mutually exclusive to one another. Kingsburg is one of those rare gateway games that still gets a lot of play. It's an excellent title that has some really good replay value in it. With its addition to Forge a Realm, they added even deeper mechanics and additional components into the game. This is a game that is very easy for new players to learn and just as easy for people to teach. It's an excellent game, and we're going to take a look at both of the games in a little more detail. In today's breakdown, we're going to approach it a little bit differently than we have in the past. I've usually devoted my whole video session to look at one game at a time. In this instance, I just thought it was best to show both the original game and its expansion together. And the reason for this is because I'm really happy with the ability to fit the expansion into the original game's box. It's a huge plus. Most games you aren't able to do that. You have to continue filling your shelves with multiple boxes. And for Kingsburg and its expansion, it's a real easy fix. So with that, let's first take a look at the expansion to Forge a Realm and its insert. The only thing you're going to see in here is the paper insert with the small hollowed out area where all the expansions chits were first put when the game shipped. I've also put in here the original province boards. The province boards don't need to be used anymore because the expansion added more rows and more buildings to these province sheets, so there's simply no need to keep these anymore. So I simply put them away, store them away, and keep the box up in the closet. Looking at Kingsburg now, we'll actually open up the box and show you everything that came with the original game as well as everything from the expansion fitting into this one single box. So opening the box top now, the first thing you're going to notice is a small 8.5 by 11 rule book. It's only 8 pages, it's extremely thin, it's a very easy read to understand the game. Also inside of here is the original rule book, which is a little bit larger. It's also 8 pages, full color from front to back, and very easy to understand. Now remember guys, this really is a gateway game with some strategy inside of it. You're also going to notice the province boards have been expanded from 5 rows up to 7 rows. That comes from the expansion itself. Also, you're going to see several additional building rows that can be used to substitute current building rows in the game. This gives the game a lot of variety. Everyone can start off with the same rows. People can start off with different rows. There's a whole bunch of different variants that can be used when the game is played. The board still fits perfectly inside. No problems. We'll open that up a little bit and show it to you. Now most people are going to say, why Jeremy, you don't have any Plano boxes in here. Well, that's right, because there's really not any need for a Plano box in this game, surprisingly enough. There are 6 main compartments in the game, and all of them fit perfectly in the provided baggies that they give you. First, you're going to notice a variety of different dice in different colors for all the players. You're going to notice a lot of markers for all the players. There are dice tokens. There are soldier tokens, which are the large ones. These came with the expansion. And then there are the building tokens, which are the smaller ones. The soldier tokens are two-sided, showing you a number on the back side. And there's one, of course, for all the different colors in the game. So we'll pull all those out and set them aside. There's another baggie that houses all the goods in the game, and there's 3 different goods. There are monster cards that fit nicely over into this compartment. There are destiny cards, which can be chosen at the start of the game. That comes from the expansion. Actually, those were the governor cards. I'm sorry. These are the destiny cards. And these 2 come from the expansion. Now, as you can see, everything fits perfectly inside here. This is a huge plus for people that don't like to have multiple games on their shelves. This is one of the few games where the expansion is actually going to fit inside the original box. So with that, let's actually break out the game board, set up a little two-player game. We're not going to go through the mechanics, but we're going to show you what the setup looks like. So now we have Kingsburg and its expansion all laid out and ready to be played for 2 players. We're just going to take a quick walkthrough of the setup, show you what the game looks like for 2 players, and then I'll come back and tell you my personal opinion about the game. First thing you're going to notice is the board. It's bright and colorful. I think it's one of the most beautiful boards out there. It's got player spaces for all the subjects of the king himself. Around the track, or around the board, is a scoring track, a victory point track. At the very bottom, you have all the seasons. Over on the right hand side, you have all the years. The game takes place over 5 years in total. Here is the monster deck. You have a small area for your 2 dice tokens, or plus 2 tokens. You have 3 areas for your wood, your gold, and your stone. At the top of the board, you have your soldier track. You have the turn player order. Looking at one player setup, on blue, they have their province sheet in front of them. They have drawn one of their governor cards to use throughout the entire game. Each person has 3 dice. You have your soldier tokens with the face values down. And you have all of your building tokens. And the same thing happens over on the other side. As I said before, this is an excellent game. I try not to get into reviews because there's just a lot of people doing them, but this is a game I could suggest to anybody. Someone who's trying to teach your parents, your grandparents, your son, or your daughter. It's a very easy game to learn. It uses dice, which most people tend to like to do, but there's not a lot of luck factor to it. Everything can be mitigated by your choices on what you build. It's an excellent game. It's a game that I like playing 2-player or 5-player. It has very few cases of runaway winners. And it's just a very solid game from beginning to end. It's one of the few gateway games that I still love playing today. And that's Kingsburg and its expansion to Forge a Realm. Thanks for watching.